Hello and welcome to this James the Bike Guy, where on this cold and wintry day, we get a chance to take a look at a very good looking Trek Emonda. This happens to be the 2023 Trek Emonda SL5, which is the most affordable way to get into their carbon fiber 500 series frame and get the performance of the top end carbon race bikes. Well, anyways, in this video, we're going to go into this 2023 Trek Emonda SL5, talk a bit about the features and designs of the bike, as well as we'll go ahead and find out what it weighs. So if this kind of thing is interesting to you, stick around and let's check it out together. Talking Trek Emonda. So the Emonda has been in Trek's lineup for quite a while as their lightweight climbers bike. In Trek's road bike lineup, they've got a few different flavors, starting off with their Domani, which is a endurance geometry road bike, and then they've got their Madone, which is an aerodynamic race bike. And this Trek Emonda slots in right in the middle with a semi-aero lightweight climbers frame. Now, the Trek Emonda does come in three different frame levels. They've got the Emonda ALR, which is a lightweight aluminum road bike. They've got this SL, which is a 500 series carbon OCLV frame. And then they also have their SLR top-end race bike. Now, in all of the carbon variants, the bike is coming with what they call their H1.5 fit, which effectively splits the difference between an endurance and an all-out, just straight race bike. Now, this bike is available in an H1 and the SLR Race Shop Limited frame, but in a 1.5, it's going to still have a relatively low front end, relatively long reach, and the capability with the spacers above the headset to add a little more stack for those who need a bit more comfort. Now, this bike in front of us happens to be a size 50 centimeter. So it's a tiny little bike, which does make the proportions look a little bit off. But I'll tell you, especially as it grows in size, it's a very good looking frame setup. Now, this frame has been around for a little while. It features things like this integrated cap and cable routing that goes in through the front end, nice bladed carbon fork. It does run a traditional handlebar and stem, so those are easy to swap out and adjust to your fit. Out back, of course, is going to be a seat mast, and this seat mast is where normally you'd have a post that goes into the frame. But if you take a look, the post actually comes out of the frame and the cap goes on top of the mast. Now, this being an SL5 means that we've got an aluminum seat mast cap, which does add a fair bit of weight and might be a place that in the future would be worth upgrading to carbon. But by having a mast and a cap that goes on top, they can tune the ride quality to be exactly what they want it to be. Now, going through the rest of the frame, you can see this nice shaped carbon frame, a T47 threaded bottom bracket, and as we go out back, there is a spot for your duo trap, which is a little spot for a Bluetooth sensor to be added in. And then, of course, the bike, being disc brake only, comes with through axles both in the back as well as the front. The last things to talk about on this frame go into tire clearance, and while it officially states that it can fit a 28 millimeter wide tire, you can see with this bike speccing 28s from the factory, I'd hazard a guess you could go quite a bit wider. Now, diving into the part spec of this bike, this particular rig is their SL5. So the SL indicates the frame quality like we talked about before, and the 5 indicates the part spec. The SL5 means this is going to run the 2x11 speed Shimano 105. So this is the R7000 mechanical 105, and while it's not listed just yet, I suspect the SL6, which will come out soon, I'm sure, will have the 12-speed 105 Di2. Basically, the 12-speed is electronic shift, whereas this 11-speed is still mechanical shift. So kind of the prior generation, although they're carrying forward with it. And this features a 11 to 30 tooth cassette out back for a nice wide range of gearing. And then up front, you have a 50-34 compact crankset. That should give a pretty wide range of gearing to be able to climb some hills, go along with the climber's mentality of the bike, but also enough hard gear to be able to help go down those hills. And then to shift the bike is the Shimano R7000 hydraulic shift levers. So their mechanical shift, inside button to go to harder gear, outside button to go to an easier gear. And then if you pull back, it operates hydraulic 2-piston calipers on 160 millimeter rotors. And the final thing to talk about the part spec is going to be the Bontrager Paradigm wheels. This is a more basic wheel. It's plenty robust and a good option for training, but you'll see in the weight, this would be one spot where I think you could create a lot more performance and speed out of the bike by replacing the stock wheel set with something lightweight in carbon, such as their Aeolus Pro or even Aeolus Elite setup as well. Well, anyways, now that we've talked about features and designs of this bike, I say it's time to find out what it weighs. The actual weight of this Trek Emonda SL5 in a size 50 centimeter comes in and weighs 19.88 pounds.